Oh man. Ugh. Yep, still not feeling good. I was up super late last night. Probably not gonna help. I know it's not gonna help. But anyways, what we're doing today is I'm gonna kind of just build, like just make a creative world, build different things, build things that are cool. It's just gonna be kind of just a playthrough. I might end up doing some stuff. Oh, great. Average stream rate. What? It says we're stable here. I don't know. I don't know anymore. It says I'm stable over on my OBS. Then it says I'm unstable over here. Well, I guess it's got to be perfect. I don't know. My OBS is apparently not as up to date as this or whatever. See if we can re-up that. It's saying we have a 1080p source, but it's saying we're not stable, so it's dropping picture. Ah, great. Yep. Seems like the chat is like really affecting. Yeah. Sorry, some technical difficulties. Holy cow. Can't even support 2 people on a 1 gigabit service is ridiculous. Like, I can watch 2 4K videos right now, but if I want to upload, for whatever reason, it won't support it, even though I have like gig up, gig down. Like, I don't know about this freaking service anymore. Driving me crazy. Alrighty, well, I'm sorry if the stream is unstable. I do re-upload them onto YouTube later. Not much later, whatever it takes to export it from Twitch to there. Right now I don't do anything to it. If I start doing that, it's going to take a lot longer to put uploads, so because I'm just not experienced with editing. That's why I just upload the same thing. So yeah. I think that will work. But man, yeah, average. What does it say? OBS output mode. Duration 3 hours, 1 hour. Unstable event. See, it's like it says like you can have higher bit streams, but it doesn't even support higher bit streams. And I think that's more part of it, because there's no leeway, there's no down leeway. It's like it wants it to be right where it wants it to be and be super stable. I get it, but no internet is super stable unless you're the only one on it. And if I was the only one on it, then I don't know what the point is. But let's just get in here and just create a new world. Not going to be survival. It doesn't matter. We can keep it on normal. Cheats are going to be on. I'm going to try not to do terraforming on this because it's not going to be what it's about. There'll be a little bit, but not too much. Okay, what's a good name? I don't know. Building. Stream. Okay. Let's just create that. It'll take a little while. Yeah, sorry about the stability to the stream. It's That's crazy because it says it's good over on OBS and then it says it's bad on Twitch. And like between Twitch and OBS, it seems like I always have problems. Okay, so let's get this figured out. Nice. Okay, now it says we're excellent. And over on OBS it says we dropped down. So I don't know what's what anymore. Let's just unfortunately ignore it for now. I do have my visuals turned up pretty high. Oh, nice. So we got like a mesa biome over here. I need to stop turning my face away from the mic. Interesting. So options, video settings. So simulated chunks, let's go to 20. Let's go to 30. What the heck? Apply. Done. Done. Back to game. Just so we can get like a good portion of the view. See what we're working with here. So we got one of these, some dripstone, cave going on. We got this massive mesa, this jungle, this valley leads to some water. I kind of want to go over this way just because I like what the terrain looks like. It's all nice and green. It seems like people just like green better. It's like if you build anywhere else, it's like, ooh, it's not pretty. But I like this shelf. Like there's like tiers. And I like this little shelf down here. So maybe we'll remove all these trees. Maybe not all of them right now, but gradually, eventually, move all these trees. We'll shoot across a part that we see when it peaks over here. It's a valley over there, except for like in the diagonal. I don't mind building stuff on the diagonal, but it just doesn't look as good in Minecraft. Just straight lines. Work with straight lines. Alrighty, let's get to it. Let's knock out some of these trees. This is what I like about Minecraft. I like to build. I don't the actual, you know, if you want to say the intention of the game, it's a sandbox game. I mean, you can play however you want. You know, there's people who play PvP on Minecraft. I think there's enough PvP games, and I like Minecraft and all, but PvP doesn't seem like something I want to do. And that's fine, you know. There's plenty of PvP streamers. I'm not one of them. Player versus player streamers. And I will honestly say it's probably because the fact that I just don't have the skill or the equipment to play competitively. Like, I don't even know what the rate is, but I know that there's lag in between my clicks, and that's on Minecraft, so sorry if that disgusts you. I just don't like stuff dripping out of my face. And again, I'm not feeling good. That being said, what I plan on doing in this stream is getting a little building a bridge, and I might try to upload a video of it, like edit a video so that it's, you know, more of that, less of the tearing down and all that stuff, like where I'm just filming everything. And we'll see. So if we go straight across, we just we'll get a wood block of some kind. Get this stuff out of my inventory. Let's get everything out of my inventory. Okay, we're just gonna work with this for now and go straight across. This is just to get kind of a height and idea of where we're meeting on the other side. I knew it was going to kind of be interesting. And then we'll block it out, measure it out, and figure out what's what from there. And we'll start from this end because we can have more adjustment on that end than we can on this end because we're meeting up next to the cliffside. How far out do we want to go? Because I kind of want to have a certain type of bridge. I want to have like a covered bridge. It's like a living bridge. When I say living, I mean like a house bridge. Like somebody lives in here over the valley. Maybe later turn this instead of into a bridge. Maybe also have a couple dams or whatever you want to call them, reservoirs for water. I really want to stick with wood. I know traditionally, you know, you would never go this high with wood. It's just not strong enough. Meaning worth the fact that, well, I don't want to get in technical part of it. I can't think right now. You just typically wouldn't use wood because you have to use more wood than it's worth. You'd use stone or earth or something else. Like, obviously, wood would be involved. It's just not the only source. But I just think it would look cool if it was all wood. So I'm going to do, like, a wood, you know, with a little bit of metal strapping, stuff like that, with copper blocks and stuff. Okay, it looks like my connecting to chat. I keep saying, welcome to the chat room, and then it says it like a billion times. I don't understand anything about this. I downloaded this version of the stream chat thing, and then it just like spams welcome to chat, welcome to chat, welcome to chat. And I look at my viewers and it's like there's only one person on here. And then how do you even look at views? Like I don't know. I don't understand this. People are probably laughing at me, but whatever. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then come across. And that's what we're going to build based on, is just the 5-block base, which is 3 blocks between. And then like these every 5th block essentially. Or 4th block, excuse me. Just like this. I don't know why. It's probably because how the game is built. Because if I wanted to go bigger, I would have to go like, okay, so 3-block basic. If I wanted to go bigger than this, like thicker than this, I'd have to double it. And it just doesn't land well in Minecraft. First of all, it ends up being so big. And then taking so long to do. But I don't know. We'll try it out. We'll see what it looks like. Wow. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Just an adjustment on 1 block. That's actually kind of nice. I think it would definitely tie into the wall more, or the ground more, just for, I don't know, support reasons. But that's kind of the truss system. It's just if I do this, instead of just doing like 1 block, I'd have to do 4 of these size blocks. So it would be like this. Like, essentially like that. So I'd just be doubling it. But instead of having this like this, these blocks would be like that, and that'd be the edge. You know what? It is a little bit more building, but I think it'll look cool, so we're going to go with that. The thickness just lends well to Minecraft, I think. But we are going to have some tie-in issues. And anything that we do, we're just gonna, this is why I said there's gonna be a little bit of terraforming, because there always is. you can't technically avoid it. Just for the sake of a little bit of realism. And then we'll see. So we're going to have to cut in. And day. And then what is the other one? Game, game rule, do daylight cycle to false, just so we don't have to worry about day-night cycle. It's just one less thing I have to worry about, because the whole point of this is just to be kind of just a building session. That's just what I like Minecraft for, you know. To each their own. You can do whatever you want, obviously, but this is just what I like to do. It lends itself well. Okay. Definitely noticing some laggy bits just from building. I probably should turn it down. The distance. I was just mainly to get a better visualization. Turn this down to like, I don't know, like 12. Apply, done, back to game. Because we don't need to see that far. But I do have fabric on this one, so we're back in 1.18.1. We're not on the newest release. Man, I've always had that problem. It doesn't matter what video card, what I do with settings, Minecraft always has that freaking wiggly line. Is that like a frame buffer or something? I don't know, but I've always had that. It doesn't matter what version or what video card I have, because I have a 1080 Ti, or not a 1080 Ti, excuse me. I have a 1080. Okay, get this figured out, but not much I can do. It sucks because it's like right there, right? It's like a visual annoyance. If it was like up at the top, but it's like right there, right below my vision, like right before. It does jump around a little bit. But it's amazing how hard Minecraft is actually to run. Like, I was really surprised when I got my 1080. Like, I thought I was gonna be like no problems, no nothing, and yeah, we all know how that turned out. Now typically I would think there would be like a truss system that came down. They would try to avoid the waterway just so they don't have to build on top of like moist soil. But what we're going to do is we're going to count it out. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Perfect. You always want to have an odd number. Don't want to have an even number for obvious reasons in Minecraft, because one block is a number. So we can't do halves or whatever. So if it's 17, that would be 7.5. Wrong. That'd be 8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is obviously the half, because it's half on the block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So where is that hitting? We want to go all the way down. Kind of just keep stuff in line. Here, I gotta scoot my chair over. I do hate the fact that they use shift, just mainly because shift is that freaking key, and you can turn it off, but it messes with other things because it's helpful on other programs, but if you press shift too many times, oh great, okay. Engineering wise, what they would do with this is essentially, once this even got close to water, especially if it's fresh water, they would change to a different thing. Like way back in the day, the only thing they could change to is like stone or brick. Whoops. And why do I keep on pressing Q? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it down to that level, to the water level, to the water table level. I don't know necessarily what they would do in this instance. My guess is it would be really expensive to put this bridge here, and whoever's building this house must be like something that I'm not. But yeah, fantastic. I know there would be tie-ins. Like when I say tie-ins, there would be like a member like this, and then there would be cross members all the way up. 1, 2, 3. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna do an even older method. It doesn't do the same thing. And it's hard to do on Minecraft because you can't really offset blocks like you can in the real world, like have your tops. Essentially, you'd have 4 of these, but in our case, we'll have 6. And then these ones would get wider as they went down, and wider as they went down. And then these would all tie together and create, essentially a 3-dimensional part, a 3-dimensional structure. But simply putting cross members, you can have thinner members and less if you do it that way. Like less members tying it together. That being said, I knew we weren't going to be able to tie in evenly where there's an even spacing. So there's that. Another thing that we're going to have to adjust for is what we're going to do actually is we're just going to tie something like this, change the dimensionality of it, and on these things we're just going to go just kind of under the surface of the water for now. Then later on we might do something different. But essentially on any of these structures it would be number one, a lot of engineering. Okay. Now, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna bring it down to that water level. Okay, drop it down. Okay. Tie it in. Then just go up with this. There'd obviously be a center beam. Let's get it put in like this. Okay, then we can and this would all be timber framing. That's why I'm using this. Obviously, if the logs were were this dimensionally perfect, it'd be so crazy. That'd be probably the coolest thing ever to be seen. Because if you think about a log that's this thick, that's, you know, a meter by meter by meter thick, that's just an insane thickness. We'd be going through, like, I don't know. I don't even want to know how long these trees would have to grow. I'm not saying that there's not trees that are that were that thick. There definitely was. Just saying it's crazy to think about. And that being said, I think that's a good start. All the girth of the bridge is going to be up here. This isn't going to be our like base area. We'll actually go up by a level, then come across, and then this will be our floor. So just bring all those up. Whoops. And continue on just building this structure. And again, if anybody new is on the stream, which currently it doesn't appear to be, we got one viewer. I think it's a bot. It's a Twitch bot. And I say that with the nicest intentions. Because, I mean, I'll get people watching like 30 seconds of my video. And I'll ask, okay, so for some reason, whatever I said drew them in. Maybe it was just the fact that it was Minecraft. They were seeing if somebody knew, or it was suggested to them. You know, what was drawing them in. And whatever that was, it is what it is. Let's get these in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is mainly what I use Minecraft for. Just like building ideas. Even though it's a non-traditional building idea, like you can't do any of this in real life. I used to literally just sit and design like different buildings in SketchUp. But I don't know, when you have to design every member and stuff and then put it into SketchUp, if you want it to kind of have some realism to it, just takes a really long time. And I never uploaded those videos. They would have been good streams, I guess. I don't know. Me trying to figure out what people want to watch is, I don't know, they want something hyper realistic or hyper realism. And when I say hyper realism, I mean fake. They want you to be super enthusiastic and not realistic. I don't know what people want. I just know that I like to build, and it seems like more and more it's, if there's nobody to entertain, like you have no metric of where to go. And I say that in the nicest way, because you're a lost for cause, because the only way you can know what somebody likes is by, looking at other streamers, seeing what they do. But it's like 90% of streamers don't play the games I play. And that's one of the metrics that it tells you. It's like, play things that other people don't play. Am I perfect at foundations? No. Am I good at making it look pretty? Probably not. If you're watching my videos for tutorials, I never put tutorial. I just say playthrough. I do not say tutorial. I don't want to teach you how to play a game. Playing a game is kind of its own experience, like finding out, how to do something. It is nice to get those basic things, like for example in Minecraft, when I first started, I would always look up like videos, tutorials, how to play the game. And before long, I realized that those tutorial videos were great, but the metric of having to watch the tutorial video is they have to be really short and to the point. And if that's what you're looking for, sometimes it's just easier to type into Google and make sure it's not a video, a blog type thing. Because I definitely did not waste my time trying to figure out the metrics of like watching a whole YouTube video, unless it was just something I enjoyed watching. Okay, so we got the standard frame here. I know, it looks chunky. We'll just say that. It looks chunky. I think what we're going to do in between them is we're going to use spruce. I think these are, yeah, those are oak. I like how stripped oak is darker than planked oak, which makes no sense at all. There's absolutely no reason why the wood would look different stripped or planked. Oxidation happens the same way. So, I don't know. I just find it kind of funny how this game's metric works. I'm almost wondering if, just to give it just the littlest more detail, and then I'll make it easier on me, is if instead of filling in these little things, we put it back, give it some dimension, some 3 dimensions instead of being so flat. And then we can add even more dimension by adding things in there. Let's go back here. And it's not like we can't build inside of these. It's just, I don't know who's going to want to build in like a 1 block space now. So that's why I typically build this way. Build in this fashion. It lends itself nicely. So we'll get our line on the bottom started, and then we'll work out from there. Okay. And I was doing pretty good. Like, it seemed like I was getting people, there was like the first little video, I think I kind of wrecked some people. Because I was like saying, I'm going to do a Minecraft survival stream, and I don't know, it just it's not why I like Minecraft. I don't necessarily like, because it's hard to make it interesting, even with building. But it's like, at least if you don't have to go and collect all the materials, you can build and people can see what you build, and then you can like upload a picture. It just lends itself better to like, I don't know, to being able to make like short little clips that you can post on different stuff. Because honestly, if you post on Instagram, you'll get a lot more followers on Instagram than you will. You know, people are more willing to look at a picture and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then, you know, go to the next one. And it sounds horrible, but, you know, people don't like to waste their time. And if it's not super intriguing, they definitely are not going to waste their time. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I feel bad or whatever. They're just going to be like, this is dumb. You know, hate to break into hyperrealism, but that's the truth. Like, people don't care. People do not care about, you know, for the lack of a better word, hurting your feelings. And you gotta get thick skin, because people are gonna say whatever they're gonna say, and it doesn't matter, you know, how it makes you feel. They're gonna say it either way. So you can either accept it, and I realize I fudged up. I was acting like this was the only one. This is the interior, so we can take all this out. And I know I'm probably gonna get, I would say I would get messages, but people just don't. I haven't got recognized. People aren't watching my videos. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm so opinionated. That's probably what it is. Anywho, I don't know why, but I just feel like it's hard to lend yourself to something if you don't enjoy it. And so I try to play things in a way that I enjoy, but I will say this, it doesn't seem that other people enjoy to play games that way, or at least they don't enjoy to watch games that way. And I don't know why I'm surprised. Why would anybody just want to watch some random person play games? Well, that kind of, I don't know, like, what is it about that Twitch streamer? What is it about that YouTuber that they like watching about that? Is it the fact that they're just somebody they know and they found? You know, a lot of that has to do with timing. Like, when you're impressionable, there's that impressionable phase that most people grow out of eventually, where you're like, I'm kind of done watching this kind of content, you know, and you move on. And that sucks for those type of streamers, because they're always having to gear everything trend-wise to a new audience. And I think that's kind of what Twitch is. And no offense, but some of the things on Twitch I never want to do. I never, you know, number one, some of the things I don't have the talent to do. So there's that. There's always that. Other stuff is just purely, in my opinion, not my cup of tea. We'll just say that. And I'm not going to say what they are. Everybody knows, you know, to an extent, what some Twitch people do. And there's plenty of platforms on other platforms to do that kind of stuff. There's no reason at all why you have to do that on Twitch. It's not the only place. But it's like trying to save face or whatever it is, you know. And I'm not going to say what that content is. You can kind of guess. It's questionable content that's just, yeah. It doesn't, I don't know. To me, it doesn't have a place. And it makes everything metric-wise. And what I mean by metric-wise, I mean like, if you're just trying to be creative, it blows everything else out of the water, because you don't have to be creative to do that. It does not take a creative person to be that way. and I would not consider that creative. It's like the same metric with being lazy with games. Like, well, how do you make it interesting? And how do you get people to come to your channel? And when you're up against stuff like that, where they're just being able to stream whatever they want, whatever, content they want, to an age group that at that point in their life thinks that that's what, no offense, but all people are like. We'll just say people because I don't want to offend anybody. And I don't want to get into the whole pronoun thing. That's one of my biggest things, like just trying not to be polarizing, but at the same time I am opinionated and I have an opinion. I just don't want to share it on the internet because it can be disastrous, especially nowadays. It's like everybody is so happy and it doesn't lend itself well. It's just better to be quiet, not share your opinion, no matter what it is. And the problem with that is those are typically the people that get themselves a lot of attention. And being stupid and getting yourself a lot of attention for being stupid, hey, it's on the internet, whatever. If it works, I think it's a good metric, as long as it's like ha-ha funny and not like detrimental to somebody, or somebody sees that and they're like, oh, that's how I want to live my life, and then it's like really unhealthy. Like, I will say this, mukbang, like I don't care if you want to eat and stream at the same time. It seems to be a big thing, in Oriental countries. And I'll just say Oriental. I don't mean to be rude or anything. It's just I don't know any other way than to say that. Just other people, put it that way. People that aren't me. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just the stanchiation of how you do it. Like, if you're just going to get a bunch of food and just be like, oh, I'm going to eat all this food, and then be like, rah, just, I don't know. I don't find that appealing at all. And that's okay. I don't have to, because I'm not the person making the content. Okay. Maybe we will. Now that I think about it, I think I will add a little bit of trussing in here, maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of... It's a lot of truss, and I don't know exactly how it would be. I don't think it would be that way, because this is a non-compression truss, meaning that it's so the weight of this is naturally going to want to push out. Naturally. Just the way it is. Just the way things work. So when you put a diagonal on there, it doesn't give it shear strength. It gives it structural strength, like in multiple dimensions, not single dimensionally. If that's hard for you to understand, that's fine. Just imagine an inch by an inch by an inch. Just or imagine this is an inch, this is an inch, and that is an inch. And dimensionally, this gravity, rotational force, everything, if you were to spin it, it has a structural like integrity, like a tensile strength to itself that ties it together. And those properties, when you make them larger, those microscopic structures come into play again. There's a certain point where you don't have to worry about it. Like, that's why there's civil engineers for huge stuff, because they have to understand the properties of the lumber, and that's what they mean when it's engineered. It just means it's not just cut. Like when it says it's an engineered lumber, it's actually typically shredded lumber, and it is stronger because it has more glue striations, which those gluing parts are just more what do you say? They're stronger. Their bonds on a microscopic level are stronger than wood even by itself, being grown by itself, and the natural glues that wood holds itself together. You know, people say timber framing is really strong or whatever. Yes, to a certain extent, but wood is really good under compression, but this lumber, these beams going this way, they're not as strong as an engineered member would be over the same distance. You could put a big log there, and if you engineered a log to this size, because it's engineered, it would be stronger, you know, with less material. So you get the same strength out of less material, and who wouldn't want to spend less money? Because essentially what you're trying to do, like that's what you're always fighting with. Use less materials so that you can build more things bigger and better. Or at least equal quality for cheaper. And that's usually the metric where people get confused. They think, oh, all those materials is like having paper in your house. Well, actually, if you built your house out of paper, it would be stronger. Like if you had an equal thickness of paper as you did wood, and you could manipulate the structure, it would be stronger than the piece of wood, because on a microscopic level, the paper pulp has a bond that is closer together. Obviously, you'd have to have a binding agent that was equivalent to what wood has naturally, which we already have synthetic glues that are stronger. Like Gorilla Glue is not good for structural strength. And a lot of people get confused that, oh, but it's really strong. Well, it's strong in one direction. Essentially, it has to be strong in multiple directions. And to understand that, you have to understand molecularly how it's put together. So it's not just a straightforward answer. That's why wood needs to be engineered. That's why if wood is engineered into shavings, banding, whatever, that's why plywood has so much shear strength. Because essentially what you're doing is you're taking that three-dimensional part and you're laying it out flat. And so dimensionally, all those things line up and meld well together. And then you're crossing it in multiple different ways. And we're not talking about OSB, because OSB has its properties, and so does plywood. The one problem with plywood is it's really flexible. It's also the good thing about it. Because sometimes if you get something that's too stiff, or in the case of structural strength, being flexible is good. And if you're too stiff, then obviously you'll just break. You won't bend. And that's why steel, like tool steel, is not a good like structural building thing. Like you wouldn't want to build a building with structural steel, meaning or tool steel, excuse me. Structural steel is totally different, and there's very many different melds of metals that I have no idea about. But whenever you build something, for example, if the ground moves, you know, you don't want the structure to move. Or if it does move, you want it to flex and sway. You don't want it to break. And that's why everybody's like, well, why do they have bridges that flex and swing and stuff like that? Literally, wind can cause that. Wind damage. There's a lot of things. And that's some of the reasons why you would never want to build essentially a dam out of wood, because it doesn't have enough density to support the structure, essentially. But I don't think we're gonna do the truss members, at least not right now. We're gonna take these out. Back to this, off of my tangent. Build housing. Trying to think what would look cool. What would lend itself well? See, this is always a problem I run into. It's like, okay, so the bridge is there. I got that. That's centered. If I would have went one more, it would have moved center over to here. I would have tied in. And now I kind of have to. So I'm still centered. It's just now I have to add to both sides, whereas I could have just moved it over, moved center over. But whatever. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Oh no. Got a noisemaker. Yeah, we're getting right to the point where thinking we're gonna call it quits. Oh, somebody's not happy. Okay. Get this. Yeah, we probably should have lit it up in here. Put some lights, some torches. Where are they at? There they are. I like how they just disappear. It's like, oh, you loaded that chunk. And we'll just literally put them on every one on this side, and then we'll go down the other way and put them on the other side. Okay. Just so, I mean, essentially, this is way more than you need. There's a fire hazard. Whatever. Okay. What are we gonna do? And to remind you what we're doing, we're just filling in this area. We might build into it. Right now, it's not gonna do anything. This is the platform that we're building the house on top of. We'll have like windows and stuff up here. I like to build the structure on a 3x3, and I'm going to use the 3x3 to kind of keep it, but I like to get a little bit taller so that you can have just a little bit more design features, I guess you could say, like windows and stuff like that are bigger than one block. They are thin windows though, so there is that. But this way we can frame out just like that, and we can have two high windows instead of one high windows. And then even if we wanted to, we could switch over, get rid of this stuff, switch over to stairs. Let's see. Where we got? There we go. We could switch over to these just to give dimensional value and have like big open windows, which is, I think that's what I'm going to do. Just have some big open windows. Okay, just a minute.